today. Lots of stuff going on. Biden dropped out of the race. We'll cover that first. We'll cover some stuff we missed from the Trump shooting and what's going on with that. Kind of the Democrat and the Republicans' response. We'll also cover kind of Lord Boebert's craziness going on. She's got the speeding ticket issues, and we'll cover J.D. Vance, the new VP pick, and some devastating stuff came out from the Eileen Cannon case and how that's going to probably backfire on her, which is the Trump document case. And then some big revelations came out about RFK Jr. So all that and more, but we're going to have to dive right in. Lacey's out once again this week. She'll be back this next week. But Biden, all of a sudden today, dropped out kind of out of nowhere, which I think was smart on his part. Not just the dropout, but the way he handled it. I think he did a really good job of just no fuss, no muss, just do it. Walk out with your boots on, be cool. But this could be, there's going to be challenges to this with the donors, because they donated to that campaign. Also, who's going to replace him? In all likelihood, it'll be Kamala. Now, if there ends up being a infighting about who it's going to be, that's going to be a serious problem. But if he just passes the torch to Kamala and it goes that way, that would be pretty smooth. She's already been pretty much elected by the people, so she's vice president. So she is kind of primed position to be there, and she can pick up his campaign and the money right away and hit the ground running. So hopefully none of that becomes an issue. The Republicans, I know, are already starting to fight it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's just go to the announcement. This was MSNBC reporting on it right here.
NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba, who's got some fresh reporting for us. Monica, what do you have?
Well, Katie, I think it's just so notable in everything you've just been discussing there when we talk about the factors that went into this decision for President Biden. We have to remember he's isolated in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware with COVID, and that's where he has been these last couple of days, having some of these difficult discussions, I'm told. But ultimately, even last night with some of his closest aides, with members of his inner circle, he had told them privately, I understand, that he was full speed ahead, that he wanted to continue with this campaign. Even this morning, some key White House and Biden reelection effort surrogates were on the airwaves saying this isn't a discussion about President Biden making a future decision. They had said he had made his decision and it was to stay in the race. And some of those people didn't even find out about the president changing his mind until just moments before it went out formally on his own account on social.
Right. Which I think was the smart move on his part. Just don't tell anybody, just do it. So good for Biden. The fact of the matter is he's 81. If it were 5-6 years ago, probably wouldn't be an issue. Even 4 years ago when he ran last, wouldn't have been an issue. But at his age, I mean, the likelihood that he's going to survive another 4 years is not great. I mean, I hate to be pessimistic, but that's just the reality. Average lifespan for a man in the United States is, 84? He could, but, he's not going to be as fast as he used to be. Essentially, it's the kind of situation where, Grandpa's getting old and it's time to take away his car keys because he's a danger on the streets, right? I know that's always been a big fight, but the bottom line is it has to be done. And I've dealt with, because I've been retirement planning for a long time, I've dealt with that situation before with family members. Now, the other grandpa whose keys needs to be taken away is 78, and he's definitely got cognitive problems, which we'll talk more about later. But yeah, the Republicans need to take the keys away from Trump because he's going to drive until he kills somebody. But I give Biden a lot of credit for that. It's good to know when your time's kind of up and it's time to step down and pass the torch. He did it. He did it on his own terms. Good for him. Now the Republicans are already trying to fight this whole thing. I don't know why. You can't force somebody to stay in. This is America. We're not slaves, man. But that's kind of going on with them. The other issue is I think they're going to try to fight this because there's different ballot situations in each state for getting on the ballot. Kamala should be able to move over. It shouldn't be an issue. But I know the Republicans are definitely going to want to fight this as much as possible because they won't want to. What they want to do is get this kicked up to the Supreme Court, which is a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court, to remind everybody, and hopefully get the Supreme Court to rule in their favor and maybe kick Kamala off the ballot in some states. which is an attempt that they could do, which is a potential issue. But if the Supreme Court does that, the Supreme Court's essentially saying, we're going to select the next president. I think you're going to have a bigger constitutional crisis on your hands. So I don't know how far that'll go, if it'll go that way at all, but hopefully this all happens real smoothly. So congratulations to Joe Biden. It's good. It's time for him to retire and enjoy what's left of his life. I mean, really shouldn't be stressing about this stuff. I know he wanted to stay, but I give him credit for stepping down. I think he still would have won, but I do think there was an issue with the down ballot where he was dragging in other candidates, and it doesn't really do us a whole lot of good if we have the Democratic president, but a House and Senate that's totally Republican. Basically, nothing will get done. So, yeah, smart move on his part. Good job for Joe. So.